Three, two, one.
Here we go!
Welcome back to another episode of SIP Warriors with Quadzilla Karina.
And Viking Josh.
Today we have a special guest, Lee, from Fitness Depot, 85 Jiu-Jitsu, and Behemoth CrossFit, right?
Behemoth Gym now.
Behemoth Gym, sorry.
Yes. Let's start it out as Behemoth
Yeah.
CrossFit.
Okay.
Listen,
All right.
this is your one-stop shop for it all, guys, here.
Man, we love this place. Since day one, 6 years ago, we met Lee, and the friendship has grown so much since then. It was just love at first sight.
Yes.
Absolutely. No, thanks for having me, guys. And our journey's been it's been long, but it doesn't feel long because we're having so much fun.
That's right.
I agree.
Along the way. I opened up the Fitness Depot store when I saw a big void in the industry, and I think you guys kind of had that void filled when we kind of met.
Yep, absolutely.
And what happened was we talked about just a second ago. It was Behemoth CrossFit. Now it's Behemoth Gym. Well, when we started that business, I was already in the fitness industry, but I was going to find the equipment needed to open up our CrossFit box or gym, and my experience was just terrible. I went to local fitness stores and told them what I was looking for, and A, they didn't provide the equipment, B, they didn't have the knowledge or expertise to even really give me direction. CrossFit's more functional based, a lot of racks, rigs, slam balls, wall balls, kettlebells, bumper plates, dumbbells, free weights, where a traditional gym, cardio, strength, and then
Right.
free weights. So, when I went to start to find equipment for opening up our CrossFit box, there was just nothing there, and they're trying to shove ellipticals down my throat and treadmills, and those are great. But the reality is that we don't use those.
Yeah, that's not what you needed
It's
at that
not.
point.
We don't use machines. We make machines.
Yep.
And that was kind of the
Yeah, I like that, yeah.
the idea behind it. So after going through that experience and that process, I realized that the future of fitness was going to be real functional based. Not so much it had to be CrossFit, and CrossFit didn't invent the kettlebell or anything of that
Right.
nature. But at the same time, they used a lot of it, and those types of items require more of a skill and technique to use, which I feel has a lot of value. Not only do have good equipment, but how do I use this equipment, and how, more importantly, do I use this equipment safely?
Yeah.
And
I want to add real quick.
Yes.
So how we met Lee, okay? This is a really funny story. I know we were kind of reminiscing on this yesterday. When we started our journey, okay? Josh is the person who does all the research on everything. And, so we went to several stops, and Lee was actually the last one we were making for that particular day. So every single place that we went, he'd find an item, and then he'd research to see if it was the best price in town. When we went to Lee's, we just literally hit it off, and he's like, here, check this out, and this is what you need. So I want y'all to think about this, okay? We had a slam ball, and we had a set of dumbbells when we started.
And a couple of kettlebells.
And a couple of kettlebells. This is how we started, okay? So we come to Lee and we're like, listen, this is what we need. This is what we're starting. And again, guys, this is an empty garage because, as you know, this is how we started our own personal journey. We get to Lee after the third item. Josh is sitting here researching, and then Lee just tells him, hey, man, take your time. Keep researching.
Absolutely. I love you to price check and dare to compare. And the reality is that, when we support your business or your fitness journey, it's not limited just to have a big mix to give you a ton of options, but it's also, it's also a big investment
Yes.
monetary.
Yep.
And my experience with the Behemoth side of it was I've been on both sides of this conversation. So me being able to relate to you guys on both sides versus being, some hotshot sales guy trying to
Right.
shove ellipticals down your throat, that doesn't make sense, and that's not the direction and the experience you guys needed.
Exactly.
Even though that was the experience I had gotten on the other side, as far as a terrible one. My goal with the store was to change that for everything from someone starting their fitness journey at home to gym owners like yourself that are going to go out there and change lives.
And I have to say that you did that. You honestly did. We were so
Absolutely.
happy. And as our clients know, and everybody that comes across that ever asks for and has a need for any equipment, listen, we always call your location the candy store. But like we say, it's the healthy candy store.
Absolutely.
Okay? It's like you gotta go in there with a budget because we've experienced it. We're like, I want this, which is a good thing because at the end of the day, it's an investment that you're making for your personal health, your personal growth. And I just have to say that when you come to Lee, he's not going to try and sell you things. He's going to give you what you need for the location that you're trying to do or whatever it is that you're trying to seek to fill. He's going to help you guys.
Even if you need just one dumbbell or
Yes.
two dumbbells or a band, he doesn't try to upsell you on the most expensive, elaborate thing that's on the market today. Absolutely not. And that's one of the main reasons that we connected right away is he wasn't a car salesman when we went.
Yes.
Well, and that's all in our approach. And our approach is to, I want to be your trainer first. I want to be, a sales guy second. And what I mean by that is I want to qualify what your needs are using my experience and using, years of training personally, and both commercially through a gym. And we want to ensure that we put you in the right stuff. And when it comes to fitness, and you guys can attest to this, is that it's kind of a loose term. And to define fitness, your definition could be this, mine's that, and yours is that. And the reality is that we're all right. So it can be very vague. So when someone comes in, it's on us to qualify what they're really looking for and also what they really need.
Exactly.
And, my experience as a trainer has allowed us to do that. And that's actually how I run the store with our sales team. Ironically enough, our sales teams are either trainers, gym owners, former professional athletes, people that have, been through the circuit, people that have done it, people, that are at different stages of their journey. And then even, one of my best sales guys is my top installer. So, the value I can add is that not only can we give you the expertise on the training and the fitness side, but, installation's a big thing,
Yes.
and you guys have gone through it, and, it's a service we offer as well, delivery, install, setup. And it just kind of takes that guesswork out because, the process now is, okay, I'm going to order it online. It's going to come in. Well, now I got to put it up. How do I know if I put it up correctly? How do I even know what I'm getting? I ordered it online. I didn't get to touch it. I didn't get to feel it.
Yep.
And that, that goes back to the big showroom. A 17,000 square foot showroom is big. Well, we're in Texas. Everything's big. But also the fact that, I want you to feel that because, you go on Amazon and you heard about this, you read about it. You read the reviews, it's great, but the reality is that the guy who wrote the review, he was 6'6", and Karina, you're not 6'6".
No.
So is it going to feel the same to you as it does it feel and vice versa?
I agree.
And
And you get to test everything.
that's it.
Yeah.
Bring your water bottle, bring a towel. I've had
Yep.
people go in there and work, but I want you to know exactly what you're getting, and does it work for you?
Exactly.
And sometimes I'll get we'll get customers in all the time. Hey, what is the best piece of fitness equipment in here? What do you recommend? And the answer is real simple. I look at them and I say, the best piece of fitness equipment in here for you is the one that you're comfortable with and you're going to use on a regular basis.
Exactly.
And that may be different for you.
Yep.
It may be different for me. It may be different for Karina.
Yep.
So, that is kind of that personal touch that we put on to qualify. Look, if you hate bikes, I'm not going to shove a bike down your throat.
Right.
Let's look at some other options. If you hate running, well, then treadmill may not be. Or if you're coming off injuries or different issues or situations, well, then let's just take that off the table and let's look at these other considerations. And then the more value we add is that we're constantly seeking out new equipment, constantly testing it, verifying it, and then offering it. And our goal is to expose you to the different options out there. So it's not so much as an upsell, but it's more of a sell to put you into the
What
right
you
equipment.
need.
Exactly.
Which is the same thing, kind of like the same approach we have with our clients when they come to us. It's like, hey, what I need to do this. How do I get there? Well, first of all, we need to evaluate you. Let's find out what your needs are. Let's find out how we can help you. And first of all, we want to make sure that we can help you.
Yep.
Because we're not going to just throw some prices at you
Very
without
simple.
even knowing if, hey, can we even assist you?
Well, you even pivot off of that. You said to get there. Well, where is there?
Exactly.
Let's establish that
Yes.
first.
What's the goal?
Yeah.
What's the goal? Where are we going?
And I want to be jacked. Well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
That's vague.
Yeah.
We got to get specific. Okay,
Yep.
so you want to, be at this body fat, or you want to lower your weight to this. Okay, what is the timeline we want to do it? Well, I want to do it in 2 weeks. Well, that's not realistic. We can't do that. So
exactly.
what you have to do is you have to establish where there is. And then your guys' role is to put a plan in place to get them there.
Exactly.
And their job is to essentially
Follow?
That's it. Pretty much that simple.
That's it. It's difficult.
We'll give you the
as it sounds.
tools. Yeah.
As hard as it sounds, the reality is that's it. That's why they come to you and they seek out your expertise and your knowledge in this space. And what I really vibed with you guys was a couple things. Was you went on your own journey. And we all had our own journey, and people see you guys now, and the reality is that let's look at photos 10, 15, 20 years ago.
I know.
We didn't look like this.
No.
And
I have to show them pictures.
dude,
we need to put them on here.
Teardrop. I saw the teardrop.
So for
Holy
those
cholo.
that don't know, yes,
Bruh.
he's seen it, and thank God she showed me about 3 years after we were together. But Karina used to have a teardrop tattoo on her face.
Forget about it. Oh, it made my day.
God, you're making me blush here.
The fact that we can look back on it and laugh, it was classic. I had to go back and tell Rosie about it.
Oh my
I
God.
was like, oh, you don't believe this? She's like, no. I was like, you got to see it. Yes, but that's what's awesome about this is that you guys went through the journey. You can relate. We're normal people.
Yes.
It's like LeBron James just saying, just go dunk the basketball. Well, that's great, LeBron. Give me your 42-inch vertical. Give me your give me your 6'10" height or whatever, and give me all that leg muscle you got. But the reality is that he's an anomaly. And people strive to be this anomaly, but they lack the genetic content, the discipline, and that's the reality is that, it doesn't mean you can't strive to be the best, but you strive to be the best with what you have.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you guys going through your journey, and I saw that early off, and I knew you were passionate. I could feel it. I could hear it, and watching you guys grow, because at the end of the day, our goal at the store is to be your ultimate fitness resource. Now, that's not limited to just selling fitness equipment.
I know.
Right? Obviously, that's what we do.
Yes.
But everything from, we do everything from, nutrition, inspiration, different types of programs and exercise. We put it out there just to add value to your experience, because, when it comes to fitness has been really weird. People define it differently.
Yeah.
It's a bad word in some instances. To some people, it's offending. And the reality is, it is what it is.
Yep.
And, we use it to better ourselves, and because it's done so much for us, we feel that we need to spread that to everybody. And once that happens, it's no longer about you, it's about them.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, I think that's what it comes down to is, helping people. And, we always say changing people's lives through health and fitness is one of our mantras that we always say. And what's nice about
ours?
Yep.
Iron sharpens iron. Yep.
And that's so if my goal is to change as many people's lives through health and fitness, I use you guys are an extension of us. Now, obviously, you're doing a lot of the work and everything, but at the same time, you are an extension of us that allows me to touch all your clients in conjunction with you. Yep. So, that's how I qualify success.
Yep.
Is not what's in the bank account, this and that. First, I'll let me preface it. If you want to get rich, don't get in the fitness business.
Yeah.
This is a labor of love. And not that you can't make money in it. We can make a living. We can feed our family. But the reality is this is a labor of love. The amount of hours we put in, it is 100% passion.
It is 100% passion on that
just
one, I
like
have to say.
we tell people, too, it's in the fitness industry, it goes along with, especially being an entrepreneur, but even if you work corporate or whatever, your mindset, you have the dedication, the persistence, day after day, night after night, it translates a lot into being a business owner especially, but into your work ethic, because once you have that strong mind, a strong will, you want to do better, you want to push your body, be healthier, that will translate into your work ethic as well, to where you want to, okay, now this year I want my business to grow, or I want to get a promotion at work. You're going to fight for it.
Yep.
And even if you don't get it, you're going to keep going because it's a goal you have in mind. That's how we are. We don't set just personal goal. Okay, we have this as a fitness goal. Okay, now we need to translate that into a personal goal, whether it's to be more spiritual, pray more, or to be able to do whatever it is, to believe more, have more faith, whatever you want to call it. And then you also have our physical goals, whether it's to run a mile, run 20 miles or 50 miles, that's your goal you want to put in mind.
WBFF.
Yeah, there you go. That was her goal
Yep.
years ago, was to become a WBFF pro.
Yep.
And she became a pro last year.
I remember that conversation.
Yeah.
I remember when we first met, and it
Yeah.
was, and to be honest, and not to blow smoke, but I was like, she's gonna do it.
Oh,
I
thank
saw
you,
the
Lee.
dedication, I saw the commitment. I saw the support.
Oh, yes.
And that's a big part of it. And we get a lot of our demographic is real simple for me. It's pretty much me. I'm 41 years old. I have 2 kids, married, business owner. And it's real easy for me to market to me. Because I kind of know where the needs are
Right.
and what it is,
Yep.
and we get a lot of families in there,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times, even in my situation, I'm the fitness guy. My wife is the opposite of that. Doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just that's not her thing. She does other things, and that's great, and I support her 100%. But at the end of the day, you got to have that support, especially with a goal like that. I mean, a very, very small percentage of the world become professional, in the sport of bodybuilding. It's very elusive. Some people have spent their whole lives chasing it and never obtained it. Most are scared to even attempt it.
That is true.
And with bodybuilding in that sport, I mean, it is it's aesthetic based. Call it what it is.
Yeah, you're right.
And to take someone like you that's had your journey, and then to take that and then to build your confidence and to build your body and to build your knowledge of everything, and then take it and then showcase it on the stage, and not only do that but then obtain the goal, was hats off.
Thank you.
But I knew I could see it in your drive, I could feel it in your emotion, that it was only a matter of time.
Okay, you make me cry here.
Which, by the way, we're gonna have to get some support from Miss Karina coming up. So stay tuned for that,
Yes,
to continue
guys.
on our journey. Because with
Yes.
that being said, the bodybuilding community, or the whole industry, is that, look, this is all front end loaded by by the competitor. They pay their entry fees, they pay their diet, they pay their nutrition, they pay their they have to pay coaches for training.
Yep.
They have to do posing.
Yep.
I mean, there is just so much behind the scenes, and it's only a fraction of the percent at the very top that get to really reap any type of monetary value from it. So this, once again, is a labor of love. So
Yeah,
guys out there,
absolutely.
you want to be a millionaire? Get into hedge funding, get into
There you
real
go.
estate.
Yep.
You want to change lives and help people? Well, then come over to the fitness
Yep.
side. But it has
Yes.
to be a labor of love, and your goal can't be money. Money will be a byproduct of changing
Hard work.
lives and hard
Yeah.
work, 100%. So the focus is a little bit different, but at the same time, my bank account is based on how many lives I can change. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm rich.
Oh yeah,
there you
no,
go.
definitely, because it's so rewarding for us to see our clients change their lives, and for them to be, honestly, I always say it like this, and maybe not the right way to say it, but it's like they are fragile when we start with them, and sometimes we've got people like literally with attempt of suicide, diabetes, I mean, you name it, all
Yeah.
kinds of problems, honestly, that they approach us. I've even had one lady who I had never spoken to before calls me when she's at the hospital. Never met the lady in my life. She calls me crying, okay? And I picked up the phone, and it's crazy because I really don't respond to anonymous calls, on my cell phone, but that something inside me just said, answer the phone, answer the phone. I pick up the phone, the lady's crying, comes literally a few minutes later, we're sitting there talking, and she's crying. And guys, this lady made an amazing transformation. Triglycerides were up. I mean, they were insane. The doctors were looking at her like, how is this woman still alive? Okay, mother with 4 children. I mean, it was insane. I mean, these are the things that, honestly, we're here to change people's lives, and like Lee says, it's like, this isn't really like, oh, I want to get rich. It's not even the point. It's like that, to see that person transform and change her life before us, it was just so amazing, Gives her another opportunity at life and for her children,
Yep. And for your kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where I see the big value is that, she could have $10 million in the bank. And that $10 million couldn't do what you did for her. And that's
Exactly.
what she
Yep.
needed. And with your health and in your fitness, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care, we all get 24 hours in a day.
agree.
And how we utilize that 24 hours, maximize that 24 hours is solely at your discretion.
Preach it.
Absolutely.
Preach it.
And
Yeah.
that's what fires me up, is to be able to see stuff like that. Is like, money can't buy more time, money can't buy health. And this is stuff that we can create above and beyond, and that's an intangible. Not only in as we sit today, obviously 2021, it's been a crazy ride.
Oh, goodness.
But at the same time, if that's what it took to get us here, then we're here. Now, where do we go? And how do we address these, issues that have now been exposed? I said the pandemic exposed any weakness you had.
Oh, goodness.
If you were physically weak, if you were emotionally weak, or if you were financially weak. The COVID exposed it, and you had to deal with it on all three fronts and deal with it differently. And here we are now. Okay, now we've recognized the problem. It's front and center. Now let's take them head on. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yeah, we have to do this. We have to do that. But we're going to come out the other end way better.
Yes.
And it's almost like we had a second chance at this.
I agree.
Everything that shook out to this point, we talked about a little earlier, was, people see us in the fitness industry, and our industry did, grow through the COVID because of what's been exposed and people addressing those weaknesses. But the reality is that it didn't put us ahead; it put us on par. And what I mean by that is fitness has been overlooked for so long that now it's become a priority. Well, it should have been a priority 5 years ago. If it would have been a priority 5 years ago, our situation would have been a lot different through the pandemic. But we can't go back. So what do? We go forward. And going forward, knowing what we know, experiencing what we've experienced, how do we deal with this situation? We deal with these weaknesses head on. We come out the other side, and we're going to be better for it.
Yep. It's just something that came to mind right now. I had a conversation with a client yesterday, and, there's a specific exercise which she's not really happy with, but guess what? She looks at her training. She goes, "Oh, again." I said, "Yep, guess what? Because we're attacking those weaknesses."
100%. Yep.
And that's how, again, this is how that translates to everything in life. In order for you to grow, you've got to address the weaknesses and guess what? Conquer them.
Well,
That's
and if you look
how
at it,
you can do that.
100%. If you look at it like, let's look at it, let's apply it to fitness. And let's say we have a weak grip.
Yeah.
And we want to master the pull-up. We got strong lats, we got everything we need, but we have a weak grip. So what happens? We fixed the grip. Now we have just mastered the pull-up, and it was just one component.
Exactly.
So this can be applied to anything and everything. By addressing that weakness can now expose a lot more strengths that you have, but that simple weakness was holding you back through the entire process.
I agree. So real quick, I wanted to kind of chime in on that. So we were talking about how COVID brought out all these weaknesses that we can address them. I want to talk about your new endeavor, okay? The jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Okay.
So about 3 years ago, I had started jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu is it's Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's a martial arts. It's a form of grappling. So it's, up close and personal. We talk about it. Josh and Karina and the boys started with us recently, and they're doing fan-freaking-tastic.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And, I started the journey. I always wanted to do it. Ironically enough, actually, what really pushed me to it, I always kind of wanted to do it. I'm a big Joe Rogan fan, so I always listen to him and Jocko and all these other guys. And I remember one podcast, I think it was him and Jocko. Legitimately, Joe and Jocko was like, "All right, guys, if you do anything, you take anything away from anything we've ever said, go do jiu-jitsu." So that kind of resonated with me. I'm like, okay, here's some of the, Jocko speaks for himself. He's one of the baddest guys that ever walked the planet. And I'm a big fan of Joe too for everything that he's done. And I just, it dawned on me right then and there. I said, the two guys that I respect very, very much have just told me exactly what to do. So it's on me to either A, go do it, or B, don't. And with jiu-jitsu, there's a little ego involved, and it's different. So what I did was I went to Team Took, which he's one of the original jiu-jitsu practitioners here in the Houston area. I had sold him some equipment in the past through previous companies, and I reached directly out to him and just jumped in head first, made the commitment. What I mean by that, actually very phrasing. I called Travis up because I knew him personally, and he's the top professor, and he's a fantastic guy. I mean, just good person. Shout out to Travis. And what happened was that I called him and I said, hey, I'm interested in doing this, and I want to try it, but I don't want to jump into a class. So I said, look, I want to do personals, and I want to do personals with you. And his response was, well, not many people do just direct personals with him. He has a bunch of fantastic black belts under him. He said, look, that's fine if you want to do that, but I also have, some really good black belts that, will come in, a little bit better price savvy because he's used to, hearing a lot of the price argument. And I said, no, I want you and I want 10 sessions prepaid in full. And it's not that I'm loaded and I can do that. The reality was that forced me to commit to 10 sessions.
Yeah.
And I knew that, I'd go in there and, I'd get my ego or the wind taken out of my sails and I'd probably not come back. So I set my situation up to force me to really experience it.
Yep.
And by doing that, it worked out great. But also, I think if I wouldn't have gone that route, knowing my personality, knowing, everything else going on in my life, it may not have gone that way.
Yep.
So, by committing in full, paying in full, it forced me to get the experience. After the 10 personals, I was jumping in the class and I loved it and the rest was history. So what I'm getting at is that, when you commit to something, commit to it.
I agree. I agree.
Commitment.
Take that
There
first
you go.
step.
Yep.
Take that first
Put
step.
your money where your mouth is, and that's
Yeah.
another thing. Is look, money, it's not expensive if you see the value in it. And a lot of times, you guys on the trainer side and everything else, a lot of it's price driven. Even at Behemoth Gym where we're at, we are not the cheapest, nor do we strive to be the cheapest.
Yep.
What we strive is to provide the most value
There you go.
out there.
There you go.
And do we care? Absolutely. We wholeheartedly care. We care about our clients. We care about our current, our current athletes, our previous athletes, and everything in between. And you guys fall under the very similar realm that we are. And what I mean by that is that we've probably done 30% of our members' home gyms, garage gyms. Yep. And in a typical training scenario back in the day, that could come across as a threat. Oh no, they're getting a garage and they're not going to use us anymore. And the reality is that we don't look at it that way.
Nope.
We want you to be able to, obviously we don't want you to leave us, but at the same time, if you do decide to leave us because of life, career, whatever the case may be, we want you to continue your fitness journey. We
Yes.
didn't build this foundation and do all this just because something changed in your life for you to abandon it. Quite to the contrary. And then also on the other side of that is that, if you can't make it to the gym that day, and maybe we're following some linear progression or something, and you need to hit the back squats, the 68% on Wednesday, or, a lot of gyms, follow that style programming, but you can't make it. Well, if you miss that day, it throws the whole program off.
It does.
So there's what is your intent? And, your intent is to change people's lives through health and fitness. That may entail you have to let some go. That may entail that you have to charge more, but to bring more value is what it comes down to in that athlete experience.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
That we feel the same way. And especially with us, what you're paying for is the experience. We've already learned it, and we want to teach you how to avoid all the mistakes that we've already made in the beginning. You have pro bodybuilder here. That's years of dedication, months of preparation, and a lot of money spent on training, food, supplements, gym, equipment, trainers, coaches, whatever the case may be. So that's a lot of steps that we've taken out of the journey for you to complete your fitness journey.
So you're just literally going to be given a plan, and all your job to do is follow.
Follow it.
That's it. That's
Yep.
it. Take all the questioning out of it, and also to tag along to what Lee said. Our goal, honestly, for everybody is to give you the tools you need to succeed, and to teach you how to eventually just spread those wings and fly. That's the goal. To teach you how to take care of yourself, how to properly exercise, and then guess what? And when we part, we want you to feel very confident that you know what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, everybody has a coach. So everybody in your life has a help me here.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Everybody in your life has a purpose. So when that purpose is done, guess what? Off to the next phase you go. But I had something else in mind.
Well, just to kind of, there's always a saying, give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach him how to fish, feed him for a lifetime.
Yep.
We are
Yes.
teaching people how to fish.
Yes.
And that's what it comes down to is, our objective is, look, you may not fish with us, you may not fish in our pond anymore. That's great. Now you have the skill to fish. You can go into any
Exactly.
pond. As a matter of fact, go to the big ocean. Your time schedule changes. Your goal may change. You may get into, Olympic weightlifting. Well, you guys don't specialize in that. One's right or wrong. But we want to see you continue that journey and whatever that
Exactly.
entails. and that's having their best interests at stake.
Absolutely, yep.
Agree,
So
agree.
what we want to let everybody know is where they can go visit
Oh, yes.
the showroom at. If you want to go ahead
Yes.
and give them the address for that,
Absolutely.
the info, your IG, Facebook, all that.
It's been a crazy journey since obviously the pandemic hit. The home gym space, garage gym space, just completely shot through the roof, which is great. And then the commercial gym kind of died down a little bit, but that's starting to pick back up. But with all that being said, the best way we do kind of updates and we put a lot of content out there is going to be Instagram, and our Instagram handle is FDHTX. So Fitness Depot, Houston, Texas. We also call ourselves Fitness Destination, Houston, Texas. And the reason we do that is that Fitness Destination encompasses several entities that that is all predicated around fitness, and that it encompasses Fitness Depot, which is our store specializing in garage gym, home gyms. We have Ape Sports, which specializes in pre-owned commercial rated equipment.
Okay.
Also, we have a full division of delivery, install, setup. And then the recent addition is going to be 85 BJJ. Yep. So, we have this, it's almost like, you go to Disney World and you got Epcot, you got these other experiences. Well, it's the same thing. And, we are like the fitness world for you guys. And we offer the different experiences, the different types of equipment. Because like we said earlier, that, fitness is such a vague term and can be defined many ways. You have to offer many different types of items for the many different types of styles of training, personalities, limitations, depending on what it is. And we're very fortunate to be able to have a huge offering, huge space. Our next expansion, we have 2 warehouses we're located Tanner Road, 9881 Tanner Road. We're in a big warehouse, and that's done by design. When we started this podcast, Josh talked about pricing and things like that. Well, low overhead, low fixed cost, pass the savings on is our concept. And, that's what we've been able to do. If I have a big fancy store, then I'll have big fancy prices. When I say that, everybody, no, stay down that bumpy Tanner Road. You guys are just fine.
We'll come to you.
We'll find you. Don't worry. We'll find you. One of the sayings we say is that, the hardest part about doing business with us is finding us. Once you do that, the rest is history.
Oh, yeah.
And we are tucked away a little bit, but, that allows us to have big space, big offerings, competitive, really aggressive pricing, and then also allows us to expand that whole fitness world concept where we can add the Jiu-Jitsu Academy as a part of the store, and then our next big project, we're opening up the big pre-owned warehouse. That's next. We'll have a 14,000 square foot warehouse of pre-owned equipment. We're gonna have our garage sale bay there as well. So the garage sale is gonna be just basically an ongoing garage sale of fitness equipment. We come across a lot of gyms that close. We do a lot of the extractions and stuff, and we get tons of stuff that may be used or gently used, and we can offer it at a really good deal. And we want to create that space or that platform for people to come in and get that type of stuff. So that's going to be the next concept, and stay tuned, and we'll be launching that very soon.
That is awesome, guys. So just so you understand, okay, whatever the budget is, Lee's going to help you. He really is. Yep. And we share that because we've experienced it firsthand. And there was something that we were saying, that all the necessities in life that we feel a need, that is when, how did it go, guys? Help me here. That desire or that need that you have, it comes, the solutions, come on, Howard.
Yeah.
Help me here, I'm telling you.
That's okay, we're enjoying this right now.
You see what I mean?
Throw her a life raft. Come on. No, here's. I know what you're saying.
Thank
is
you.
That, businesses are built by addressing needs.
Thank you.
And by addressing needs, you have to recognize
yes.
them. And
find the need.
100%. That's what happened to me when we started Behemoth CrossFit. There's 3 of us that are the owners of Behemoth CrossFit. There's Asia Bartow, who was a CrossFit Games competitor, a high level athlete. He competed in the CrossFit Games 2009, 10, 11. He also was a rogue athlete. Awesome. Really, and to this day, I think he's still the tallest individual competitor to ever compete at the CrossFit Games.
Wow.
Yeah, the guy's 6'5". He's a monster. Wow. He's the face guy. He's our talent. He's the man. And then we have Arian, who's his brother, who is just as athletic. He's our brains. He does all the back end side of the business, the accounting, the program, as far as like the software and all the back end stuff. And then my role is the obviously the equipment guy, and then I'm kind of a floater. And what I mean by that is I'll be whatever I need to be. If I got to be the head coach that day, I'm the head coach.
Right.
If we got to renegotiate a lease, well, then I'm in there with the business side of it, and obviously anything that comes to do with equipment. And when we started that journey, when I went out to try to find the equipment, which was my role of the whole equation, is when I recognized that void and that need in the industry.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it was 6-7 years ahead of my time when I recognized it, but at the same time, I'd rather be ahead than behind.
I
That's
agree.
right. Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
once I recognized that need, I created a solution to address that need, and that's when, FDHTX was created. And, it didn't start off as that full warehouse.
Right.
You came in, and it was a very, very small part, and we just, evolved from there.
And that's all you can do.
That's it.
That's it.
And, I wouldn't trade the journey for the world, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit back and say it was cake and this and that. Quite to the contrary. We've had our ups and downs. We've dealt with different things. Throughout the journey, we're a business just like everybody else. We have employees, we have families, we have different personalities, and you have to deal with it. But the end goal was to create this space that we can change people's lives, and here we are. So, no matter how challenging the roadblock was or the bump was, overcoming it makes it all the more satisfying to be here today.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So guys, don't forget to check
Yes.
out FDHTX on IG. And what's the address one more time?
9881 Tanner Road.
There you go. Check them out, guys. I promise you will not be disappointed. Ask for Lee if he's not available. His top salespeople will be there to help you out and never guide you in the wrong direction. Right?
Absolutely. And look, what's cool about doing if you're going to be an end user consumer and start your garage gym, home gym, is that it evolves, and that's what's fun, is that I get to evolve with you guys. And what I mean by that is I'll get some people, they come in and they're going to start off small, and I always forewarn them. All right, I'm going to give you the full disclosure on the front. What do you mean? I said, this is going to start off like this. You're getting a couple things now. I said, be prepared that this thing's going to explode in a very short amount of time, and 9 times out of 10 it happens.
I have one for you on that one. So we had a client who began her journey, and it was funny because at the beginning of her before pictures, there was a bicycle in the back, okay? And there was like maybe a set of dumbbells. Let's just say moving forward, at the end of her journey with us, it was a leg press. It was everything in the back, and it was so funny to see the transformation of her gym and her body.
Yeah.
Does her name start with an N? Yeah. Okay. I know.
It was so awesome to see
Yes.
those pictures. But yes, it was really
She
fun.
gets so fired up and so excited that it fires me up. I'm already fired up
Yeah.
as it is. But when you come in and you see that
Yeah.
excitement, she's like, I'm getting this.
Yeah.
I need this
Yeah.
and that. And she does.
Yep.
She does.
Yeah.
And no, it's been fun getting her
Yes.
set up and operational. But to also see her journey's been
Yes.
really, really cool.
Yeah.
That's
It's been amazing.
Yes.
absolutely.
So, with that in mind, guys, let's just remind you one more time, jiu-jitsu, okay, just before we close out.
Yeah, so on the jiu-jitsu side, we created, obviously we want to spread, martial arts and fitness are kind of coming to a head together. And, it used to be you had to pick a side. Were you this or you that? And now
We
you
don't
can
believe in that.
You can be both. Well, the thing is, there's a lot of benefits,
Yes.
coming from the fitness side, I'll use you guys as a prime example. We come in, you guys already know how to brace, you know how to breathe, your mobility is really good, your strength and your endurance is there. So it allows you to absorb more techniques versus, just trying to build the physical, conditioning side of it for you to even to attempt the techniques.
Yep.
So, that I knew was an opportunity because not only, do you have the physical ability, but you also had the mindset. And, just because you don't work out doesn't mean you can't come do jiu-jitsu. I'm just pivoting off of that. I knew that there was opportunity with people with the same mindset as me, and then, being able to add value on the fitness, strength, and conditioning side.
Absolutely.
So we created this Jiu-Jitsu Academy to allow everything to expose you guys in a safe manner to something that is very special, above and beyond, just learning the self-defense tactics.
And
Yes.
challenging.
Oh my goodness, guys, we've had 2 classes?
Yeah.
2 classes, and yesterday I was thrown over. It was awesome.
She was forewarned.
No. Listen, I welcome that. he asked us, how did you guys like that? I said, listen, I said, if you're looking for 4 masochists, we're here.
Well,
Kids and him and I, we are there.
Well, and that type of experience, like, when would you ever be this close to somebody?
Right.
When we talk about it,
it's awesome, guys.
Absolutely.
Highly recommended.
Absolutely. So check us out, 85 BJJ. We're just now kind of doing intro classes. Our full schedule will be going up. We can be found on Instagram and Facebook at 85 BJJ. We have a fantastic professor, Professor Jose Llanes. He is a student and got his black belt from Professor Travis. So we're an extension of Team Took. Great lineage. And what I love about Travis and the way he operates, he's very similar to how we operate at Behemoth, very similar to how you guys operate as well. And he adds a ton of value, and it's above and beyond just learning the martial arts, but also the ability to apply that to life and overcome challenges and situations as well.
So I know we've said this in the past, and I think it's kind of our time to cut because we could sit here and have a conversation all day long. But just want to let y'all know, like we've said in the past, the goal for us is just for you to be healthy.
Yep.
Healthy.
Enjoy life.
Yes. If we're not the people for you, listen, talk to us. We'll connect you with the right people to
Just
take
like right
you
here,
on
it's
that
prime example.
journey.
Look,
Yes.
he has his own gym.
Yes.
Part owner in a gym.
Exactly.
Fitness Depot.
Yes.
This is a prime example. We don't want you to necessarily come to us because we're the right fit. If we're not the right fit, hey, we'll send you somewhere else. We know people who know people who know people who know people.
Absolutely.
Yep. The goal is to get you healthy and strong and be able to live a healthy lifestyle, not only for you, but for your children.
Well, and 100%. And some of us are at different stages in our journey.
Exactly.
Some of us have, come out of high stress jobs, may have had kids, whatever the case may be. But the reality is that, the journey may seem far, but take it in small steps. And, first find your why.
Exactly.
Why am I going to do this? If I'm doing it to be jacked, well, then that's not a good enough why to get me up at 5 a.m. If I'm doing it so I can be healthy, to pass on good habits to my family, and so I can play with my kids without losing my breath, well, that's a good enough reason why. So find that why, and then seek out the right professionals. You're not on this on your own. And even if Josh and Karina can't directly help you, they can point you in the right
Exactly.
direction. So, make the commitment, find out your why, seek out professional help, and stick with it.
Yep, that's it. That's simple. That's
Absolutely.
it. All right, guys. Thank you again for joining us, SIP Warriors. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast, okay? Sharing is caring, so be sure to share it as well. Be sure to follow Lee. And this was an amazing conversation. Lee, thank you so much
Thanks for having me,
for
guys.
being here. And again, guys, take care of yourself.
Have a blessed day, guys.
Have a blessed one. Bye.
Bye.